Welcome to another episode of the Terri and Frank Show. Hopefully, you've been tuning into this great series on belonging. I think it's been dynamite.
It has.
Today, we're going to go into belonging a little bit more. As we promised you, it's going to be about the roots getting even stronger. So, these are very important topics for the times we live in. And Terri, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Terry Mays. I'm a certified culture engineer with experience helping companies bring out the best in their people.
I'm Frank Wander. I'm the founder of People Productive, a company that helps organizations create cultures where the people and company actually thrive together. Belonging is a piece of that for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Tara, last week we spoke about the fact that meaning was a way to actually help really strengthen the roots, and that occurs somewhat earlier. And now we're going to move on to achievement, people's achievement needs, and how
Yeah.
making sure that those achievement needs get met is going to help strengthen the roots even more. So, how do you want to open this up?
Yes, I think it's important for people and especially leaders to recognize that that sense of meaning and that sense of belonging is fueled by whether or not they feel like they're being appreciated and that they're the things that they bring to the table, all of the talents that they have are recognized. That people actually recognize that they're doing a good job when they're doing a good job, that they say thank you, that they give people that pat on the back, so to speak. But that recognition piece is so important for people to feel like they belong and they're connected to an organization.
Yeah, and that feeling of achievement comes from others recognizing you for sure, but it's that impact, the feeling that you made a difference, right? This is internal. There's
Right.
always intrinsic and extrinsic. On the intrinsic side, it's that feeling that you really had an impact. You did something important. And I think you've got to point out as a leader to the fact that sometimes, hey, that contribution is, that's bigger than you think. They may
Right.
not even realize what an important contribution they made. They may know they did something good, but in many ways, you can help point out sometimes that, that this is, you really had an impact here. Let me tell you why.
Right.
You
And
offer,
that actually brings more meaning to the relationship that you have with your manager.
Mhm.
When you sometimes, like you said, we all have a sense of, most of us anyway, have a sense of downplaying the things that we do. There are some folks that are just natural
Yeah.
braggers. They will talk about themselves. They are very much not shy about saying what they did and how they were responsible for things. But most of us really are really shy when it comes to bragging on ourselves and talking about all the great things that we've done. People tend to not want to talk about themselves. And
Mhm.
so when you've made an impact on the team and your manager or even someone else on your team recognizes that, hey, what you did really did make a difference, and you start to explain why it made a difference and why it mattered to you, it really has such a profound impact. I can remember being on a team where I reached out to help one of my coworkers that was struggling. I was on a test team at that time, and we had, everybody's got their set of test cases to complete. And she was really struggling to get her test cases finished, and I was done with mine. And so rather than sit back and just say, oh well, sucks to be you, I just reached out and said, hey, can I help you? And I really didn't, I wasn't trying to take anything away from her. I was really trying to be a help, and she recognized that. And after we finished, she got me a little card that said thank you and a little magnet, but it was just, just a simple token to say, I really did appreciate you going out of your way to help. And it really made a big difference. And she
Mhm.
talked to me about how she had just been stressed. And really, that simple act of kindness lifted a lot of the burden off of her. And she felt so much better after doing that. And it's been something that has stuck with me for the longest. A lot of times you think that what you're doing wasn't really that big of a deal. I'm guilty of that a lot, where I think, well, that really wasn't a big deal. Anybody would have done that. And it's not true. Sometimes those things really are big deals, and they really do make a huge impact on people.
They make an impact, and sometimes, and I agree, with you, people oftentimes don't realize how significant the impact was.
Right.
I remember early at my career at Merrill, I'd come in and I was hired to build a system. We were rolling out some of the first online stuff to the Merrill Lynch branch offices. and the system went in on time. And I remember I was over walking around operations, after the system went live. It was a success, but what really stuck with me was the head of operations, saw me and came running over and said, I got to tell you, what you did and how you did it, and the how you've worked with our team and everything, you're making a real difference. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to
Right.
come over. This guy ran all of operations.
Right.
But it was important enough to him to come over. He was a good leader. And that type of spontaneous recognition,
Right.
really, it felt good. Wow, I made a real difference. I had an impact. It was all about the impact.
Yeah, and it sticks with you.
Yeah.
It's something that, it's genuine, it's
Mhm.
heartfelt, you it's not
Totally
something
genuine.
that's
Yeah.
fake, it's very genuine, it comes from a very heartfelt place, and so you that sticks with you. It really means something to people when you go out and go out of your way to recognize them and to say thank you and say you did a great
Yeah.
job. Those things really do matter.
And then, of course, we move on to giving people some influence, right? After they've
Right,
achieved things, if you want those roots to strengthen, grow wider and deeper, you want them to have influence.
right,
Allow them to, speak their mind and suggest things. People, that type of recognition, which is, you're being given influence in the organization. And even if they make a suggestion and it's not followed up on, but the fact that you're encouraging them to speak up and influence where things are going, that makes a big difference.
it does. When and we this is all part of a bigger conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mhm.
When you give people a voice and you actually listen to what they have to say, you'd be surprised how much of an impact that has on people and how open people are to sharing. And you
Mhm.
can get some really great ideas when you just sit back and ask for the advice of others and just willingly sit down and listen to what people have to say. That's one of the biggest keys I found as a business relationship manager is just listening. Just go and find out where people's pain points are. What
Mhm.
are the problems that they're experiencing? Where are some areas where you can help them? And just actually listen to what they have to say and then go do something about what you heard.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about just, hearing and say, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. But now taking it a step further to try and do something about it. That is all just wonderful experiences that leave good marks on people. You
Yeah.
want to be that person that has a positive impact because we've always been around those people that leave a negative impression. They have such a harsh impact on us that you avoid them like the plague.
Mhm.
You don't want to be around them.
Yeah. Go back and watch the People Unproductive series.
Yes.
That was good.
Yes.
Very, very informative. So now we're on the positive side, which is really this belonging for everyone. It's an era where the, diversity, equity, inclusion really matter. Nothing is more important than that deep sense of belonging for everyone. And each and every person watching this can contribute to somebody's sense of belonging. Everybody. Don't leave it to leaders. It's up to every individual to help that individual feel that they have that real sense of belonging. Do listen to their opinion,
Yes.
because let them have, influence where warranted, right? Just because people have suggestions doesn't mean it's right. We're not suggesting that by any means. But listen to, people's ideas, let them have influence, recognize them for what they did, help them, fulfill their achievement needs. And you're going to see roots that strengthen and grow deeper and wider. And these things really, really, really do matter.
Yes, absolutely. And there's all kinds of statistics out there about companies that are thriving and more successful that have a bigger bottom line because they focus in on the culture, that they really do care about the people. And once you start to see that, you can correlate that between achievement and the
Mhm.
actual value of the company starts to increase. That's something for people to take notice of. So
Mm.
we're not just talking about things that don't matter at all. There's a bunch of science behind this and a bunch of research that shows that companies that have thriving cultures really do better in performance than companies that don't.
No question. And, humans are living organisms. All living organisms have a set of needs that need to be met. Humans happen to have emotional needs that need to be met. So you've got to really understand this, this territory, if you want to lead, if you want to be a great coworker, you should start to think about this because these are the tools of our era.
Yes, absolutely.
So anything else, Terry, you want to add on this?
I think we got it this time. I think we got it. And we've somehow managed to not have another funny episode where
Oh, yeah, we didn't get interrupted. Oh my God.
we got on the other side of that. So that's pretty fun.
I'll have to wait till my cable gets cut again. That'll be the next funny episode. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you, Tara.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had my kind of blah, 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 blah moment. So
Yeah,
I think we are on the
that
other
was
side of
funny.
that.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So tune in next week. We're going to go over some of the fun things that have to happen.
Yes.
Building a real fun culture, getting that vibe up.
Yes.
This is going to magnify and help the roots grow too, because that's energy. They're going to pick up that energy. That energy source is going to help them put their roots down deeper into the soil of your organization. It's going to help them achieve more. Fun really matters. So we'll talk about that on the next episode of
Yes.
Belonging for Everyone.
Yes. Thank you for watching and make sure you subscribe and share.
Oh yeah, please smack that bell, subscribe. We'll
Yes.
see you. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.